Welcome to our inquiry into the ethics of technology. For centuries, humanity has created tools to extend our power, from fire and wheels to nuclear energy and artificial intelligence. Yet with every leap forward, we encounter the same question. Where do we draw the line between what is possible and what is right? Technology is not neutral. It reflects the values, biases, and intentions of its creators. AI algorithms can save lives or perpetuate injustice. Genetic engineering can cure diseases or reshape humanity itself. Surveillance can protect societies or erode privacy forever. We stand at a crossroads where innovation outpaces ethical reflection. In this episode, we'll ask not only what technology can do, but what it should do. And in doing so, we'll uncover the moral responsibilities we carry in shaping the future. To begin, we must define the ethical problem of technology. Unlike natural forces, technology is a human creation. That means it is shaped by decisions, priorities, and values. The ethical question is not whether technology is good or evil, but how it is applied. Nuclear energy, for example, can power cities or destroy them. Artificial intelligence can diagnose illnesses or replace workers. Ethics forces us to step back and ask, what should we permit, what should we restrict, and what should we forbid? This is not an easy task, because technological progress often outruns the moral frameworks we have in place. Hannah Arendt warned that humanity risks creating things we cannot control. Thus, defining the ethical landscape is our first step toward responsible innovation. Artificial intelligence is one of the most urgent ethical frontiers. Algorithms now decide who gets loans, jobs, and even medical treatment. But these systems are built on data that reflects human bias. A famous case revealed AI discriminating in hiring processes, reflecting sexism present in past data. If AI learns from our past, it risks amplifying injustice into the future. Nick Bostrom warns of the existential risks of superintelligence, where machines might one day surpass human control. Yet AI also holds extraordinary promise: personalized medicine, faster research, and more efficient systems. The ethical dilemma is clear. How do we harness AI's potential while preventing harm? This is not just about technology, but about the values we choose to embed in it. AI is a mirror of humanity, and the reflection is ours to guide. Genetic engineering opens another ethical frontier. With tools like CRISPR, short for clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, scientists now have the ability to precisely cut, remove, or replace sections of DNA with remarkable accuracy. This technology makes it possible to eliminate inherited diseases, alter traits, and even design future generations. The promise is extraordinary: a world without genetic suffering, where conditions like cystic fibrosis or Huntington's disease could be permanently erased. Yet the risks are equally profound. What happens when we cross from healing into enhancement, creating so-called designer babies or engineered intelligence? Yuval Noah Harari warns that this shift could redefine what it means to be human. Critics worry about inequality, as only the wealthy may afford genetic advantages. Others raise questions of consent. Can future generations agree to changes made before they are born? The line between healing and manipulation is thin, and once crossed, may be impossible to redraw. Genetic engineering forces us to ask whether having the knowledge to rewrite life itself gives us the right to use it, or the responsibility to restrain it. In the digital age, our lives are tracked in unprecedented detail. Every click, search, and purchase generates data, which is collected and sold. Shoshana Zuboff calls this surveillance capitalism, where our behavior becomes a commodity. The promise is convenience: personalized ads, smarter services, predictive tools. But the cost is privacy, autonomy, and freedom. Who owns our personal information? Who decides how it is used? Governments, corporations, or individuals themselves? The Cambridge Analytica scandal showed how data can be weaponized for political manipulation. Beyond politics, surveillance raises deeper philosophical concerns. Is a life under constant observation truly free? Privacy is not just about secrecy, it is about the dignity of being unseen. And as we give up more data, we must ask, what price are we paying for convenience? Automation is often celebrated for efficiency, but it raises profound ethical challenges. Entire industries, from manufacturing to customer service, are being reshaped by machines. Economists warn of mass unemployment, while corporations emphasize productivity gains. But what happens when efficiency comes at the cost of human dignity? Work is not just about wages. It is about meaning, purpose, and belonging. Karl Marx predicted that technology could alienate workers from their own humanity, reducing them to cogs in a system they do not control. On the other hand, some envision a world of greater leisure, where machines free humans from drudgery. The ethical question is whether society will distribute the benefits of automation fairly. Will technology deepen inequality, or can it liberate us? The future of work will reveal whether automation is progress for all or prosperity for a few. Technology is often portrayed as clean and futuristic, but its costs are environmental. The cloud is not in the sky. It is in warehouses consuming massive amounts of energy. Mining rare earth metals for smartphones devastates landscapes and communities. E-waste piles up, poisoning ecosystems with toxic chemicals. Meanwhile, the race for faster innovation often ignores long-term sustainability. Philosophers like Hans Jonas argued that our technological power imposes a new responsibility to protect the conditions of life itself. The ethical dilemma is stark. Can we pursue endless growth on a finite planet? Renewable energy, recycling, and green innovation offer hope, but they require commitment and sacrifice. Every device has a hidden ecological footprint. The future of technology depends not only on innovation but also on restraint. To understand today's dilemmas, we must look to history. The atomic bomb represents perhaps the most devastating case of technological power without ethical foresight. Scientists built it to end a war, but in doing so created weapons capable of ending humanity itself. J. Robert Oppenheimer quoted the Bhagavad Gita, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." This haunting reflection reminds us that knowledge does not guarantee wisdom. The Cold War showed how innovation can trap humanity in cycles of fear and destruction. Today, AI and genetic engineering echo similar risks. Should we develop technologies simply because we can, or pause until ethical frameworks catch up? The atomic age warns us, progress without reflection can be catastrophic. The lessons of Hiroshima and Nagasaki are not just history, they are warnings for our future. Philosophical ethics offers tools to evaluate technology. Utilitarianism, founded by thinkers like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, judges actions by outcomes, the greatest good for the greatest number. From this perspective, a technology is ethical if it maximizes well-being, even at some cost. Kant, however, emphasized duty and principle. Actions must be judged by whether they respect human dignity, not just by results. By Kantian ethics, using people as mere means to technological ends is always wrong. The clash between utilitarianism and Kant mirrors debates in AI, biotech, and surveillance. Is it acceptable to sacrifice privacy for security, or must we uphold dignity regardless of efficiency? Ethical frameworks do not give easy answers, but they sharpen the questions we must ask. In technology, both outcomes and principles matter. Balancing them is our ongoing challenge. In today's world, corporations like Google, Meta, and Microsoft have more power than many nations. Their platforms shape economies, politics, and even social norms. With this power comes responsibility. But do they prioritize profit or humanity? Shoshana Zuboff warns that surveillance capitalism thrives on manipulation, not empowerment. Critics argue that corporate monopolies limit choice, stifle innovation, and erode democracy. Yet companies also drive medical advances, green technology, and global connectivity. The ethical question is how to hold corporations accountable without halting innovation. Should tech giants be regulated like public utilities or trusted to self-govern? Hannah Arendt would remind us, unchecked power always risks abuse. The future of ethics and technology depends on whether corporations embrace responsibility or exploit their dominance. Governments play a critical role in managing technological ethics. Laws define what is acceptable and what is forbidden, but regulation often lags far behind innovation. Social media spread misinformation for years before governments acted. Artificial intelligence develops faster than policymakers can understand. Critics argue that too much regulation stifles progress, while too little leaves citizens vulnerable. The challenge is balance, protecting rights without freezing innovation. International cooperation is essential, since technology knows no borders. The European Union's GDPR set a global standard for data privacy, showing that governance is possible. Yet, as innovation accelerates, we must ask, can politics move fast enough to safeguard humanity's future? Ethics is not only about corporations and governments. Individuals also shape technology by how they use it. Every online click contributes to the data economy. Every device we buy has environmental and social consequences. Choosing privacy settings, supporting ethical companies, and demanding accountability are forms of moral action. Hannah Arendt reminded us that responsibility often lies in small, everyday decisions. When individuals ignore their role, systems of exploitation thrive. When individuals act collectively, change becomes possible. The question is whether we see ourselves as passive users or active citizens. In the ethics of technology, no one is neutral. We are all participants in shaping the digital future. Some technologies do not just shape society, they threaten humanity's very survival. AI misalignment, uncontrolled genetic engineering, and geoengineering could unleash consequences beyond human control. The philosopher Nick Bostrom calls these existential risks, events that could end civilization or permanently cripple it. Critics argue that fears are exaggerated, but history shows that humans often underestimate their own inventions. Nuclear power, climate change, and global pandemics all emerged from technological systems we thought we could manage. The ethical question is whether we should pause or slow down when stakes are this high. But slowing innovation conflicts with economic and political incentives. The tension between caution and ambition defines our age. Ultimately, humanity must decide, do we control technology, or does technology control us? The answer may determine whether we survive our own creations. Despite the risks, technology is also a story of hope. From vaccines to the internet, from green energy to space exploration, innovation expands what is possible for humanity. Ethical reflection does not block progress, it guides it. Medical AI saves lives daily by detecting cancers earlier than humans. Renewable technology promises a future beyond fossil fuels. Digital platforms connect voices across borders, spreading knowledge and empathy. Ethics ensures that progress serves humanity rather than endangers it. Hans Jonas wrote that the imperative of responsibility defines our age, to use power wisely for the sake of future generations. Technology need not divide us from our values. It can embody them if we choose to create responsibly. These resources offer essential perspectives for anyone who wants to dig deeper into the ethics of technology. Yuval Noah Harari's Homo Deus challenges us to think about a future where human beings are no longer the pinnacle of evolution. Cathy O'Neill's Weapons of Math Destruction explains how algorithms, when unchecked, can entrench bias and inequality. Shoshana Zuboff's The Age of Surveillance Capitalism shows how our personal data is being harvested and monetized, often without our full awareness. Siddhartha Mukherjee's The Gene is both a history of genetics and a meditation on the moral weight of altering life itself. Wendell Wallach and Colin Allen's Moral Machines asks whether we can teach artificial intelligence to distinguish right from wrong. On the audio side, the AI Alignment podcast by the Future of Life Institute features experts wrestling with existential questions about AI safety. The New York Times Daily has covered CRISPR in accessible depth, and On Being with Krista Tippett provides human-centered conversations about ethics in an age of rapid change. Finally, organizations like the Future of Life Institute publish ongoing research and policy proposals. The National Human Genome Research Institute provides clear education on genetics, and the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy offers rigorous overviews of debates at the intersection of ethics, science, and society. Each of these resources will not only deepen your understanding, but also sharpen your ability to think critically about where we should and shouldn't draw the line. As we conclude, we return to our central question. Where do we draw the ethical line in technology? We've seen the extraordinary potential of AI, genetic engineering, and data systems to transform society. But we've also seen the dangers of overreach, inequality, and loss of freedom. Ethics is not about halting progress, but guiding it. The responsibility belongs to scientists, governments, corporations, and citizens alike. Should AI ever decide matters of life and death? Should genetic engineering enhance or only heal? Who owns the footprints we leave in digital space? And what responsibilities do we owe to future generations who inherit our choices? These questions may not have easy answers, but they shape the future we will all share. The ethics of technology is the ethics of humanity itself.